Let's kick off with the show. We're talking Wales. What a result from Wales, by the way. I mean, that's a really good Czech side they're up against today. And to get that late on, that win, it was 10v10 in the end. Schick got sent off for raising his arms and putting them in the direction of Connor Roberts' face. Now, for those that haven't seen it, Connor Roberts then proceeds to go down on the ground holding his face, chin, neck, that kind of area. And the referee is then, in my opinion, doesn't have a lot of a choice.
He does.
But to give the red card in the modern game. And Connor Roberts, as far as I'm concerned, has done nothing wrong. And I'm on, come on here, we talk about red cards and, it's all, why is the blame always then on the one that's been wronged? He's the one that's had to put up with his hands in his face. It's not part of the game. It is illegal. If you give the referee a decision to make and you go down, you make that decision a bit easier for the referee. Why should he stay on his feet? There's no law as to stay on his feet. You don't have to stay on your feet. And Connor Roberts is doing his best for his team, doing the best he can.
Cheating.
And if that is not cheating,
Of course it is.
It was cheating. It was cheating.
100%, Jay, right? You think that was enough for Connor Roberts to throw himself to the floor? As a man, right, and as a footballer, it's embarrassing.
No, it's not
It's
enough.
an embarrassment because Patrick Schick, when they've come together, he's put his arm and it's 2 or 3 movements on Connor Roberts. For the first one is, he's actually touched me on my neck-ish, not on his face. Then he holds his head and his chin.
Yep.
Then he throws himself to the floor. It's embarrassing, and that is everything that is wrong, what we're trying to get out of the game. Because I've been commentating a lot of championship games this year, and it's been quite refreshing that there's not as much simulation and as much diving, because if there is a player does try and simulate a dive, the actual referee tells him to get up. The referee who's Ovidiu Hatigan from Romania.
Good referee.
Right?
He's a good referee.
He should just say, get up. You're an embarrassment. Because you're saying it's all right to throw yourself to the floor. It isn't. That's not enough for someone to go down holding their face. So he's had the thought process to go, I'm going to get you sent off.
Yeah.
That's not what you play football for, try and get someone sent off.
I have...
So you think diving's okay?
I think diving is acceptable, yes, I do.
So it's cheating.
No, it's not.
Diving's not in football. You don't... when you're a kid at academies, right?
Yeah.
If a kid did that in an academy, you'd actually take them off and say, no, son, we don't do that. You don't do that. You don't
that's right.
dive.
For kids, you don't teach
So
them to.
what? So when you become professional,
Yes.
then you say to your players, dive, get someone sent off.
The dark arts of football are still very much alive and well. They've changed over the years because the rules have changed.
But that's what's got to stop.
Well, there's
I was pleased that Connor Roberts got sent off. I thought,
I know. I can't believe your reaction when it happened.
I was like, get off the pitch.
Well, but then Souček has done something similar.
He's embarrassing.
He has got an elbow in his face.
He's 6'4". He's gone like he's been hit on the top of the head with a lift, right? This is a physical contact game.
If he can then level up.
So you're saying that cheating?
It's not
is
cheating.
Good.
Try use another. It's not cheating.
Cheating.
Is putting your hands in someone's face cheating?
You think
is putting someone's shirt cheating?
That is in the emotions of the game where you're telling someone to get off you. That's not premeditated. What Connor Roberts did is premeditated. So you're telling me,
how can it be premeditated? You can only do that once his hand. He didn't know his hands.
No, it's premeditated because after that happens, then he thinks about it. So then he's
had a second to think about it.
Yes, he's thrown himself.
It's a deliberate act.
If I was Connor Roberts, I'd be embarrassed to see that. If I was Souček, I'd be embarrassed, and no one should say anything. The only manager I've ever heard come out and chastise their players for diving was Tony Pulis when he was at Crystal Palace, right? And 2 of his players got booked for diving, and he said, "I'm not." He said, "I'm not having that," and he said, "I'm going to have a word with my 2 players," because then what happens is when your referee's refereeing that team, if the manager has that mindset and that remit, he knows that players aren't diving. So I feel a bit sorry for the referee in one respect that he's been had over twice. So the karma for Connor Roberts to get, so I actually thought good. So what does Robert Page, the Wales interim manager now, does he say to Connor Roberts, well done, big fella. You got him sent off. That's great play.
But I don't think that conversation takes place.
But it should do.
But what you do, you're trying to gain an advantage in a game that was so crucial that Wolves got something.
So you're advocating
Wales got
anything. You're advocating cheating is okay.
So again,
as long as you get away.
Again, you have to use a different. I don't consider. I consider it gamesmanship. I consider it trying to gain an advantage. So where do you draw the line? Where do you come back to a point?
Be a man.
Is pulling the shirt of if a defender pulls the shirt of an attacker, is that cheating?
That's a foul.
No, is it cheating?
You're not trying to get somebody sent off.
No, but is that cheating?
No, it's a foul.
If he's going through on goal, that's good. What about then?
He gets sent off.
What about then if he throws himself to the floor? The guy who's because pulling someone's shirt doesn't.
What he's done is.
But is that cheating then?
No, because that's a foul. What happened there? I don't even think was a foul. It was a coming together. It was like,
which one?
Lads, get on. The Chick and.
Has he put his hands in his face?
But it's not a push. It's not a slap.
Yeah, has he put his hands in his face?
It's more of a get off. It's a kerfuffle.
Has he put his hand in his face?
No.
Has he put his hands around his face area?
No, he put them on his neck.
Okay, is his face area?
Right.
Okay.
So then you're changing it saying he put his hand in his face and he didn't.
Okay. Are you allowed to put your hands around the neck?
On someone's neck?
Yes.
Because it's a physical contact game.
The ball had gone. This was nothing to do with the ball.
Even with the Souček one, which I think Souček is an embarrassment, right? That is where you're trying to win the ball and go for a header. So Connor Roberts, you could say he's been hard done by because what he did before.
I think that's fair.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
I think that's fair. I don't think it necessarily was a second yellow. But what Souček then has done is he's done exactly the right thing.
I don't think he has.
He has done exactly the right thing to level it up.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
What do you mean? How old are you?
Do you want to eradicate diving from football?
I don't.
No, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, I do.
Right.
Yes, I do.
So you can't be going for that.
But what I will say is, if there are rules in place and referees have got cards in their pocket to use them, they have the powers to do it. And all the time they don't do it, they encourage players to do what they can.
So again, you're going
to try
the
and manipulate the decision to the referee to get it in their advantage.
So the players don't have any responsibility here. It's all the referee's fault. Right, I'll tell you what. You're playing Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, right? Yep. And it's the 91st minute. Yep. Reece James slides in. Yep. Lewandowski dives. Yep. You can see it's a total dive.
Yep.
And you go, that's part of the game.
It is, yeah.
You'll be all right.
Don't slide in. Stand your feet.
You get the ump.
No, I would get the ump, but stand your feet.
No. It's not a foul. There's no contact.
Then don't give the referee a decision to make.
So you'd be going, do you know what, Robert Lewandowski? Yes. That's really clever. Well done, you.
That's exactly what Tierney did to Reece James at Arsenal.
No, you wouldn't.
Reece James, Tierney's gone through, he's felt contact, he's gone down. Is it enough to bring it down? No. Has Tierney done the right thing? Yes. 08717 2233
Absolutely
44. Let's go and speak to Gary, a Liverpool fan. Good evening, Gaz.
Hi, boys. You okay?
Yeah, not bad, matey. How are you?
All I'll say, you'll just be dead straight. Football's the only sport in the world where cheating is actually condoned. People actually go out and play for things like that. They do. Unfortunately, it's part of the game. When we play, or when I played, your pride wouldn't let you go down.
Exactly.
You stay on your feet. It's a built-in mechanism. But what I'll say to you, they're told before the game. They do things to manipulate the game. Get in the box, draw the foul. There's also Suarez, when he used to cut in, used to dink the ball up and used to hit the defender's hand. Where he can go through. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Tactics to gain advantage.
That's not tactics. What Connor Roberts did, I've watched Connor Roberts all this year, right? And he squealed because there's no crowds in it's embarrassing. He goes down and he squeals. Now in the Championship, because the referees know what he's like, they just say, "Get up! What are you doing?" So, so do we want to try and eradicate this, or do we just go, you know what, we can't do anything about it?
It's not difficult to eradicate. It's hard to prove. It's hard to prove that he has gone down, that he hasn't been hurt.
No, but then that is a subjective decision that referees got to be brave enough.
Yeah, exactly. The referees have to be brave enough. The referees have to. But my argument to that would be, don't put your hands around his face or his neck. Don't do that. Be disciplined.
Right.
If you're the manager of that team and you got your man sent off, you wouldn't look at that and say, "Oh, unlucky, you've been done there." You think, "Why have you done that, you idiot? Why have you stuck your arms in his neck? Why have you given him the opportunity to get you sent off?"
Yeah, but you're saying that anything goes, Jay. You're saying anything to get an advantage. If you cheat, it's okay. I'm saying it isn't. I'm saying when I'm watching games and I see men go, and Souček is 6'4" and he's going down like he's been, say, felled with a log. That's embarrassing.
The reason he's gone down is because he can gain an advantage. If there was no advantage to be gained, he would not have gone down.
So then you have to have referees who are clever enough to say, "Get up." You have to have managers like Tony Pulis who said to his players, I'm not having diving in my team.
Again, that's all well and good coming out of it. How many times did he make that statement in his career? Look, Tony Pulis, if he needs a penalty in the last minute to either go up or stay up or get Champions League, let me tell you now.
He'll throw himself on the floor.
Let me tell you now, if he does, he won't be chastising that player in the dressing room afterwards. That's an absolute truth. Guys, sorry, mate, I'm going to bring you back into it here. Is it something that we have to accept? I mean, I personally... Would I like to see it eradicated out of the game? Yes.
But you're just accepting it.
No, I accept it because, unfortunately, you have no other way around it. And if you can get away with it to gain an advantage, absolutely do it. You do
have other ways around it because now we've got, not in today's game, but in most games as VAR, you can have retrospective action where you go, you dived, you're banned for 5 games. It would stop it.
Go on, Gaz.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But one other thing is the poor referees now, they're getting ridiculed because of all the things that they've got too many jobs at the moment anyway. You know, to put that on the toes. Listen, I think if you do it retrospectively, and just after the game, even if nothing's given, if there's something that is found, like you didn't even connect with them or something really obvious and blatant, just ban them for 3 days. It'll be a deterrent.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, listen, thanks for the call, matey. Love your thoughts on this. It's something that divides opinion. I know mine is the opinion of perhaps less people than Perry's, but the reality is we're all hypocrites. You know, we're all hypocrites.
No,
if something goes, you are, Perry.
No, I'm not.
If something goes your way for Arsenal,
no, I'm
right?
not. No, because
if it goes your way, will you celebrate the goal?
I will call it out. I will say, do you know what? No, I don't feel comfortable. That's cheating.
Will you celebrate the goal? Will you celebrate if Arsenal...
If I saw that
would you celebrate if a penalty was won and it was a dive and you win a cup? Would you celebrate the cup or would you not? No. Don't believe you. Honestly, I just don't believe you.
What?
I don't believe you.
Look
at me. I don't believe you. You wouldn't celebrate it.
No.
Would you then? Would you then have it mentally in your head removed from Arsenal's honours list?
No, because I'll probably get more tours. Could be successful.
I've got a message here, text, no name on it. He says, I'm Welsh, or she might have said it, I'm Welsh and proud. I would rather have lost tonight than Connor Roberts' antics.
Good.
Oh, Justin in South Wales. Gutted a Welsh boy went over like that.
Good. I'm glad that they're being honest.
I don't believe
you don't want
honestly,
players from your team
fans.
or your no, they've just told you. It's their own team and their team's won and they're disappointed in their team and the conduct of their players.
He's absolutely deluded if he thinks that he would rather have lost tonight. I do not believe a word of that message.
You don't read the opinion.
Hold on. Deleted.